All right, I have messed with my phone enough. It is time to start our 72-hour fundraiser. Let's kick it off with a bang. And if you've got one, crack open a LaCroix. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about the 72-hour fundraiser. So over the next 72 hours, we as Skookum kids have a goal to raise $24,000. And that's to help fund our emergency shelters that care for children when they enter foster care for their first 72 hours. I want to introduce myself. I'm Nick Fawcett, the development coordinator here in Central Washington. And right now I'm in the landing here in Central Washington. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in if you're watching this after the fact. We want to kick off this fundraiser and have a little bit of fun and talk about what's going to be happening over the next 72 hours and how you can get involved. So we have a lot of great opportunities to learn and to donate, to get involved. You'll see that on our Facebook page and our Instagram at Skookum Kids. So make sure you're following along, looking for posts, looking for videos, looking for other live updates, and I'll fill you in on the schedule later. As you come across our posts, we would love your engagement. If you've got questions or comments, put them in the comments. We've got people watching those. Send us a message. We'd love to answer your questions. We're going to be going into kind of a deep dive on what our shelters do and how they help kids. That might bring up stuff for you. That might bring up questions for you on how that works or how you can get involved. Make sure to leave a comment. We'd love to talk to you about that. And then secondly, we would love it if you could share what we're doing. Would you share it on your personal Facebook page or Instagram? Help us get the word out, because as much as we would love to raise money and fund the landing and help kids entering foster care, we also love to welcome new people into the work of foster care, and that means telling people about what we're doing. And so you are a huge help if you can share what we're doing and what we're talking about. And lastly, if you have an aha moment, if something clicks for you, we want to hear that as well. Put that in the comments. If something for you is revelatory or brand new information, let us know. We want to know what you like hearing, what is really connecting with you, and we can educate more, create training, so let us know. We love to know that in the comments as well. So Skookum's mission is involving whole communities in the work of foster care. And that means that we need to get a lot more people involved in caring for kids, especially in those painful moments like when they first enter foster care, and in those transition times. And really, we need your help. There's only a limited number of people on Skookum staff and board, and really we see Skookum's team as everybody that gets involved at every level they can, from the monthly givers to the volunteers to the people that just shout Skookum's praises at work and with their friends. And we need your help to get the whole community involved in the work of foster care. When we do this, it means that we're building a community that advocates, works for, and takes care of the most vulnerable children. We believe that this work and getting the whole community involved is one of Skookum's secret sauces, that we love to get other people involved in what we're doing, to get them excited about foster care, to get them excited about kids that need help. So would you help us do that? Would you get involved? Would you watch this weekend? Would you learn a little bit? And we believe that people can get involved when they can get involved and where they can, and that's really valuable. So wherever you can get involved this weekend, would you do that? So why 72 hours? Why are we trying to raise $24,000 in 72 hours? Well, there's one big reason why, and that's because we are setting out to solve the 72-hour problems in the communities that we're in. And that means that we want to fundamentally change how kids enter foster care and provide a soft landing for them. If you can imagine, and we see this a lot, a child enters foster care, we may know their name, they may be able to tell us information about themselves, but oftentimes we have a really incomplete picture of the children that are ending up at the landing, either in Bellingham or in Central Washington. And so the first thing we do is care for children in really unsure situations, in times when we don't have a lot of information, and we are the people that get to know them, the people that spend the most time with them in their first week of foster care. And so that becomes really difficult, right, to place a child if we don't know their information. And so we want to provide correct, vital information to social workers so that they can figure out what's going on with the family, how can we help a family, and if foster placement is necessary, what foster placement is going to be best for this child. And so that's one huge thing we do at Skookum Kids at the landing. The second thing is we help kids just navigate and make meaning and become regulated and just stabilize when they enter foster care. It's a really traumatic time to be entering foster care and separated from family. And so we want to give kids an environment that they can thrive in, that they can find meaning of what's going on. And we see all kinds of emotions, both really joyful, happy times, and kids that are brokenhearted. And so we want to provide an environment that's safe for all of those emotions and to help kids through that navigation. And then we also we buy time for social workers. When kids enter foster care, social workers are trying to, sift through all of the information that they have. As new facts come in, they're trying to make sense of them. And meanwhile, they're also trying to find where this child is going when they've been separated from family. And oftentimes, they're looking for aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, the right foster home, or they're going back to their biological parents. And so we want to buy time for social workers to do that work, that extremely hard work. We want to take a little bit off their plate so they can focus on the solutions, and we can focus on really great care for kids, setting up an environment that is right for them. And if you can see behind me, we've got the toy room behind me, a reading nook over to my right shoulder, over your left, and we just set up these environments that are really great for kids, and that's our job. So how do you how do you help us reach that goal, the 72-hour problem, solving that? Well, first, you can learn and share. You can follow us along this weekend. There's tons of opportunities to learn about the 72-hour problem and the work we do here, much deeper into what I was just talking about from the experts at Skookum Kids, the people that know so much about what kids are going through and how to help them. And you can follow along at Facebook and Instagram at Skookum Kids. And then secondly, you can donate at skookumkids.org/72hours. We'll put that link in the comments down below, but it's skookumkids.org/72hours. And the reason why we have such a lofty goal is because we were given a matching grant from the Jerry Walton Foundation of $12,000. And that means as you give, you're helping us unlock that grant. So if we can raise $12,000, we've just doubled it with the $12,000 matching grant. And now we've raised $24,000 to help kids when they're entering foster care, to provide a soft landing to those children. And so you can donate at skookumkids.org/72hours. So I want to highlight a little bit of what we've done as a community, because you all that are watching this, people around that have been volunteering and donating, you've contributed what you can, where you can, and because of that, we've done some amazing things as an organization across the state. And so first, I want to talk a little bit about our Northwest Washington region, our office up in Bellingham. We have a 7-year history of relieving the pain points in foster care. We opened up the first emergency shelter in 2015 to help kids who are entering foster care. And since then, we've weathered a lot of ups and downs and challenges, including COVID at the landing. And throughout COVID, the landing in Bellingham has remained open and ready for kids who are entering foster care. And we like to say that we're just ready for kids whenever they need us. And through COVID, that became a real challenge, to make sure that we were always ready for kids, especially with resources all around us that were shutting down or on and off. And so we wanted to make sure our shelter stayed open for kids. And I'm proud to say that the team in Bellingham did an amazing job. And that wasn't just because we have amazing staff, which we do, but that's also because we have amazing volunteers who continued to serve when they could, where they could, to work with each other, with people that when they needed it, we helped each other out, and the shelter remained open because of that. It also was because people continued to give. COVID times were unsure, right? And people were feeling it in different ways, but throughout it, people continued to give faithfully to what we're doing at Skookum Kids, and that meant that we could keep our shelters open and serving kids when they needed us most. So I want to thank you for that. Throughout COVID, what we realized, we pulled some data, and kids that were staying in foster homes that Skookum Kids licensed in Bellingham, we saw that they had an 87% reunification rate, which is another way that people are serving kids and making the best of the situation and helping kids navigate a really hard time in foster care. So 80% of those kids that stayed with Skookum Kids stayed with foster homes that were licensed by Skookum Kids. The outcome was reunification with their biological family, which is huge. And we're really proud of that number. Lastly, I want to just talk about something amazing that's going on this summer. We're running a reunified family camp called Camp Skookum. It's an opportunity for families that have been reunited to come have just a really, really fun experience together, get trained, parenting classes, just get a time that they can breathe and be family together, which is so hard for all of us, but especially for families navigating child welfare. That can be really hard to find leisurely time like that. So we're providing a free camp for reunified families. Nothing to do with this shelter, but I just think it's so awesome. I wanted to share it with you if you're watching. So there's lots more going on in Bellingham, but those are some highlights. And in Central Washington, very similar. We got to open up this emergency shelter, the landing, in 2021, July of 2021. We're coming up on a year. And again, I want to thank the community members that donated clothes, that helped us put together furniture, donated furniture, supplied money and food and all kinds of things to make this house filled and looking as great as it does. I'm really proud to show this off to people because of the work that community members came together to do. And that meant we got to open up right in the middle of COVID and continue to be ready for kids. We started serving on the weekends, and now we're covering 2 weeks a month, and we're still striving towards our goal to have 24/7 coverage for kids when they enter foster care. Currently, we have a team of over 30 people covering half the month. And lately, we've had this uptick in placement requests and people, social workers that are looking to use the house in Central Washington. And so the need to expand to 24/7 is greater now than ever. And we see that, and we want to be able to serve kids whenever. So that's part of the reason that we're asking you to help us today to get involved where you can, when you can, because that need is really prevalent to get to 24/7 coverage. Also, we've got some wonderful community partners here in Central Washington. We've got the Kittitas County Early Learning Coalition that's provided books for kids. The Health Network of Kittitas County that's mobilized our staff to be able to provide really awesome trauma-informed care training to other service providers here in Central Washington. We were given a vehicle by Keller Motors that has been affectionately named Bob by the kids. We just had kids a little bit ago, and we ended up singing Bob, 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 Bob the car. So now we not only have a name, but we also have a theme song for the car. But thank you for Keller Motors. It's a wonderful car, and it's been really serving us well. And in Central Washington, much like Bellingham, we have lots and lots of churches that have helped raise money, help recruit volunteers, provided space for events, and have spread the word that we're helping kids entering foster care and really kids across child welfare. And so thank you to the churches that have partnered and bought into what we're doing and seeing this as their mission as well. We want to just say thank you to that. We've built a reputation across the state of Washington as difference makers in foster care, as innovators. And that's not because we have a crazy amount of money or just like extra smart staff, or not because we just have something that other people don't. It's because the community members have got behind what we're doing and have gotten involved, and we've gotten a whole community involved in the work of foster care. And that's the difference maker in what we do. That's why we get to innovate on foster care. That's why we get to think big and try to do the impossible, is because of your involvement. And so we want to thank you for that. So with that said, I want to talk a little bit about what you're going to see this weekend. If you're still with me, I want you to stay tuned on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Skookum Kids, for opportunities to learn about the landing and how it cares for children entering foster care. If you see this post, which will probably get shared multiple times, maybe we can put it in the comments here. We've got the schedule for a 72-hour fundraiser. Right now at 9:30, we've got the kickoff from me, Nick Fawcett. And then later today at 1 p.m., we've got a video from our program coordinator here in Central Washington about managing the stressors for kids entering foster care. That's a huge reason we do what we do. It's a huge reason why we get volunteers involved, because they are so good at what they do in caring for kids and helping them manage stressors. Tomorrow, Thursday, we've got the psychology of play with Abby Smith. We have a lot of fun at the landing, and a lot of it is because we believe play does something amazing for kids. So stay tuned at 10:30 a.m. That's Facebook and Instagram. Abby Smith, our director of programs, is going to talk about the psychology of play. At 1 p.m. tomorrow, we've got Maddie. She's a program coordinator over in Bellingham, Washington. She's going to be live from the landing in Bellingham, talking about, giving you a tour, talking about why we set up things the way we do, and showing you all around. That's going to be amazing. At 10:30 a.m. On Friday, we're going to have an interview with birth parents. Oftentimes with these conversations, the people that get left out are biological parents, birth parents, families of origin. And we want to include their voice. They're so important to what we do. They're the reason why we think reunification is an amazing outcome of foster care. And so we're going to hear from birth parents about their experience when kids enter foster care at 10:30 a.m. on Friday. That's Facebook and Instagram. And then at 1 p.m., we're going to close out our 3 days of information and learning and opportunities to get involved from Ray Deck, our founder, and he's going to talk about the whole project and kind of wrap it all up for us. So if you've made it to the end here, here's my final ask. If you've never given to Skookum Kids, would you donate to Skookum Kids for the first time and help us unlock this $12,000 matching grant? And like I've said multiple times, it's where you can and when you can, and how you can, right? And so we love it when people can give what they can give monthly, and help us know that we've got money that we can rely on when we're caring for kids and put that towards whatever a child needs. And so we love it. The average donation of Skookum Kids is $100 monthly. So we go all over the place. People give what they can, And out of that, we see a really, really robust community supporting what we do here at Skookum Kids. So if you've never given before, would you help us now unlock this matching grant of $12,000? If you're a regular giver of Skookum Kids, would you give a little extra in the next 72 hours? I know we're so thankful for what you do. You helped us get here, and we want to give a little boost to our emergency shelters with this matching grant. So right now, if you give a little bit extra during the 72 hours, your donation is doubled. So we want to give you that opportunity as well to help out and care for kids that are entering foster care. So you can go to skookumkids.org/72 hours and give over the next 3 days and have your donation doubled. Thank you again for joining me. Don't forget to look out for our other 72-hour content on Facebook and Instagram, the Facebook Live Thursday at 1 p.m. Again, leave comments, share, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you have any questions, and we love to hear from you. Until then, cheers. I'll see you at the end of this 72 hours.